Here it is. Thursday morning, last day of the tour. The NASCAR Media Tour, running around Charlotte, running around Mooresville. Today, gloomy, black ice out there, cold, drizzling, might even snow. Perfect day to talk to Team Ford, and that's what's on tap. Jack Roush, Doug Yates, the Woods, everybody from Team Ford. And from what I've seen so far this month, it's a gloomy day, and it's going to be a gloomy bunch of interviews. Team Ford, they don't look as happy as the Team Chevy guys. I was talking to some Chevy guys yesterday over at Rick Hendricks, and I was saying that you guys look good, Toyota looks good. Dodge we're still waiting on. Ford, don't get a good feeling about them yet. And the Chevy guys I talked to said, but hey, Ford had a chance to put a new engine in the hopper at NASCAR and said they didn't want to. And so whatever they got is their own making. We'll ask Jack some questions about that. Mike Mulhern for the Winston-Salem Journal, journalnow.com, ready to hit the bus. Check out the Ford guys. Thursday, the NASCAR Media Tour, the last day.
I would rather that everybody stay with the engine they had 5 years ago, and we didn't have to do any new engines.
Yeah.
I would rather that NASCAR had not approved the package they did for Toyota for the trucks, and they wouldn't have needed to detune it and to retract the cylinder head and to change things. They took an intake manifold away from Toyota that they ran at Talladega, and if they hadn't approved that in the first place, they wouldn't have had to take it away. So there have been a number of things that have happened that cause us to get behind that have not to do with what Ford wanted to do or what I want to do. It's just trying to keep up with NASCAR and what they're doing. They're trying to save you money all the time, but they keep approving these parts that break the mold, that step outside the box for people. And when that happens, then they've either got the problem of come back and says, yeah, well, you shouldn't have had that part, give it back, or then everybody else has got to do a new engine. We don't need to do a new engine because a new engine is going to be smaller and more fuel efficient. That's not the deal. We don't need to do a new engine because our engine is bad and we're not having failures and things. We've got to do a new engine because of NASCAR's policy as it's related to the things they've approved for other manufacturers. And yes, Chevrolet got 2 new engines since Ford did the last one, and that involved a lot of obsolescence for the teams. If you looked at what Roush Yates charges for a lease program for an engine, we charge less than Chevrolet does, we charge less than Toyota does, we charge less than Chrysler does. And the reason is that we've been more conservative with our parts, and that means that we haven't had cutting-edge engines. We've got a new engine on the tables right now, on the boards right now, that we're evaluating, that we expect to put in the system that will obsolete everything we've got for 2009 that we hope to get approved in August. But I expect to be competitive. I expect that the races that we're going to run, both restricted and unrestricted, will be just fine with regard to our engines. We're not going to have better engines than anybody, but I think the reason that we can't win our races is not going to be because our engines don't do our job, because we don't have a new engine. We're just fine. Chevrolet has done a great job with their restricted engines. We went to Daytona to test. That was not a place to showcase what you were going to go racing with. We're going to go back to Daytona with better stuff than we had when we tested, with improved performance. We've got more power than we had. I know that, or at least I was told, that the intake manifold that Toyota had for Talladega, that was told that it wasn't going to be good for Daytona. Most of the Toyotas had those on their cars at Daytona for testing. So that was unrealistic. My intelligence tells me that they were changing manifolds back and forth. And as
Humpy Wheeler, who is Bruton Smith's right-hand man, and the man who runs Lowe's Motor Speedway and the rest of the tracks in Bruton's empire, has another worry.
Everybody's pussyfooting around with this issue, and we are having problems with ticket sales. We are having problems with TV ratings, and something needs to be done about it. It's pretty simple. What's missing, and what's been missing has been the drama. We just need to bring the drama back. We don't have the rivalries. You cannot have rivalries unless you got guys side-by-side racing. That's where Bobby Allison and Richard Petty got into it. That's where Cale Yarborough and Darrell Waltrip got into it. That's what created those rivalries. Side-by-side racing, guys bumping against each other and all that kind of stuff. You can't do that when you're out there following the leader. So it's the side-by-side racing that I'm looking for. I know NASCAR wants it, and I know that's supposed to be built into the car tomorrow. And I know yeah, let's let time take its toll. Let's do this, let's do that. What I'm saying is, let's don't let time take its toll. If this thing is not working, let's fix it and let's do it right now.
The car tomorrow doesn't turn into corners. The drive. That's the story from Lowe's Motor Speedway. Thursday afternoon. Charlotte Media Tour. NASCAR styles. History. Jack Roush is smiling. Surprised to me. Things are going good in the Ford camp after all. Edsel Ford was down here. He says, we're ready for Toyota. We're ready for Chevrolet. Don't underestimate Ford Motor Company. And next time we'll see these guys will be at Daytona for real, where they have to back up everything they've been telling us. Mike Mulhern for the Winston-Salem Journal at journalnow.com. And remember, good tickets are always still available.